Hello everyone. It is a pleasure to meet each and every one of you virtually. My name is John Stephen from UOW Malaysia KDU University College. First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to thank and congratulate the organizing committee of IMPAC 2022 for this wonderful session. I'll be presenting a paper on virtual and real-life experience of site-specific performance according to emotion and sense of presence. The principal researcher, Associate Professor Dr. Rosalina Kir Johari, co-researchers Morena Rose, Naufal Zambri, Ritaudin Abdul Kadir, and John Stephen Moses from University of Wollongong, Malaysia, KDU University College. Here is the abstract of our research paper. Introduction. This study will focus on the site-specific performances that was held live and virtually during the MACFest Festival 2022. The performances was held in a private-run bar called the Baboon Club and also in an abandoned warehouse along the Malacca River. Objective. The objective of this study is to investigate the responses of site-specific performance that was presented in real time and also in a virtual environment. Emotion and sense of presence has always been a key factor in theatre performance. Hence, the researchers would want to find out the experience among audiences at a site-specific performance in terms of presence. Research questions. These were the research questions for this paper. Firstly, what are the experience in terms of emotion and presence or specific art performance among those who watch it in virtual and physical environment? The subjects within this study are in two types of environment, the virtual and also the physical. The performer performing within the physical environment is fully present, whereas the virtual performer depends a lot on the technological feature. The assumption is that the concept of presence in a virtual environment with respect to real-world experience would be different. The literature review on the site-specific performance. According to Beranger 2015, historically theatre is performed by actors or actors in a special place with enclosure that is shared to the onlookers and the audiences. The roots were from traditional rituals and of ancient civilization. It includes portrayal of performances, a performance space, and the performer who uses masks, makeup, costume, dance, and music as part of the performance. However, in the 1960s, more development was seen when the performances are taken outside of the buildings. And Sechner 2003 says that theatre plays are moving past proscenium and seated audiences into audience inclusion and environmental staging. These experimental performances of Alan Koprov's Happening and Environment say to be the origins of contemporary site-specific performance. The continuation of the literature review for the site-specific performance, Pearson 2010, uses the term site-specific performance to cover performance work that transpires from or determined by the site which it happens. Site specificity can be defined in terms of message it communicates between a performance and the place and the relationship between performer and spectators as well. Macaulay, 1999, proposes two key conditions to define the boundaries of performance. One, the live presence of the performers and those that are witnessing it. The intentionality of the part of the performer, witness, or both. He acknowledges spectators of a site-specific work are invited to construct meanings outside of the perceived relationship between performance and its sites as it unfolds. According to Pachauri 2006, the dynamic theory of intentions, happens when subjects are present during agency. They will be able to successfully enact their intention. They locate themselves in the physical and cultural space in which the action occurs. Therefore, this suggests that the physical presence would be different subject to how the artists enact their intentions within the environment itself. The literature review on the site-specific performance, which is for the virtual site performance. How do a site-specific performer make his presence felt virtually? The artist in a virtual environment would have to work harder to create the presence on the virtual system, which is the medium locating himself or herself in the physical or the cultural space. Zahorik, 1998, assert that in a site performance, the environment the dancer performs also plays a big role. The viewers must be made that they are present at the place, not just looking at the performance virtually. Methodology. This study was done mainly through observation of the site performance that was held during Malacca Arts and Performances Festival from 26 to 28 of August. Data was collected through questionnaires which was distributed physically for the audiences, and also through Google Form for the virtual performance. There were about 30 attendees in Malacca, where we managed to collect about 80% of the responses. However, in the virtual performances, we had 160 viewers, but only 20 responded. Findings of this research paper. From observation, this artist-led festival presented a diverse palette of creative works away from the commercial market of art production. Artworks originated from the imagination of artists, built from the individual experience, and wealth from all the cultures and their life paths. They brought a strong message of love for art, of culture, beliefs, and also religious differences. That includes the virtual performances as well. Each artist had surveyed the premises beforehand and adapted their performance to the sites. This was something that was very interesting to watch. On our interview session, here are some of the dancers' feedback. One dancer said that my experience on performing on site varies. I would say that my performance impacts the place, whether I can tell a variety of stories or can I resonate my past to resonate in the present. That would unleash a dynamic meaning of making process. Another Indonesian artist had chosen to present an improvisational work inspired by the traditional Main Putri, a traditional ceremony to cure the patient who is ill, at the open lounge of the Baboon Bar House. This gave the audiences and the customers that was present to witness this site-specific performance as well. The spectators on site. The spectators of the site performance in Malacca were artists themselves, performers, and audiences in the studio, and also the customers of the Baboon Bar Club. There is a lack of audience because there was very large publicity around it, and also the sites chosen were enclosed building, so there was not much new audiences. One of the spectators actually commented on a performance that he witnessed at the Baboon House, which is a private run bar. It was about a dance of a struggle of middle age and exploration. His response was that, I feel the artist was moving to his instincts and feelings at the moment. Another witnessed that the dancer was in trance. Generally, all performances that I watched tonight do not have a story except one 2 years ago when all the artists came together to perform one large story. Continuing on, on the feedback from the spectators on site, one respondent felt that the artists he saw had expressed themselves where the performance they wanted freedom, they are intense and showed vulnerability of oneself. He empathized with the character or the dancer. A respondent also described her experience of watching the performance. She describes them as a modern art, a new wave. She said, there was a lot of emotion I felt, like rage, rebellion against the man's law. There was a dance of joy and intensity, and one dance as expressed fear and wanting to be accepted, to be loved. These were the responses from the onlookers at the site. Continuing on from the feedback and observation from the spectators on site, another respondent claims overall she gathered a mix of emotions of calmness, intrigue, sad, happy, desperateness, common emotions that the people feel. It is a struggle in everyone's life through the performances. One respondent observed that space and time become separated, the here and now between audience and artists, and some performances made one feel an experience that can't be expressed through words. Although one dance probably lasted less than 5 minutes, he managed to isolate the time and his emotion through the movements he made as though it lasted for hours, he said. Respondents commented on the sites that were selected. It is industrial and strong for the warehouse. So the pictures that were displayed in the slides were also taken from most of the site-specific performance during the MACFest. The site at the Babon House, which is a private run bar, is a unique cafe where the performance happens when the bar is operating and running to its customers who come in to dine and have their good time. But also the respondents commented that most times the feelings died abruptly or anticlimactic because there were transitions between the performances took quite some time. So it was not a flow between the performance that was held in those avenues. These were the feedback and the comments from the spectators online during the virtual performance of MACFest. The site's performance, held virtually and live streamed from the art school in Sandakan, met with the problem of rain. The choreographer or the lecturer of the students involved had planned to do the performance on open ground with few choices for the site. But the rain has hampered their plans. Hence, they had it in the school hall, which did not have enough lighting. The theme of the site performance for the student dancers was to chase their dream no matter what is their obstacle. Although the respondents agreed the message of the dance came across well to them and the dancers were highly talented, the physicality of the site did not offer a viable stimulus in the creation process. The level of presence is much dependent on the dancer's embracement or expression of the dancer's space. Most of the responders from the virtual spectators agreed the virtual performance falls short of achieving the sense of presence, as the obstacle was the camera was positioned too far away from the dancer and also the lighting was very dim. Continuing the feedback from the spectators online, overall 3 issues were raised among the virtual spectators: that of the need for higher resolution in the technology and of the lighting of the hall itself, and also the site that was chosen as no artistic or cultural context. One respondent suggested that in view of the theme of the performance Chasing Dream, the dance could have held in the corridors of the classes. Most spectators commented, it was a good performance, but it would be better if I had seen it live. We can see the dancers are talented. Thus, the concept of presence in a virtual environment and the meaning of presence with respect to real-world experiences are totally different. The performer performing or acting within a physical environment is fully present live in front of spectators, whereas in virtual the performer is dependent a lot on the technological dimension. Conclusion: the spectators who watched the MarkFest 2022 site performances were themselves artists, friends of artists, the organizers, and also 20% of new audiences. Our observation is that there were no shared audiences. There were us, a few academics who sought out the site-specific performances. Most of the spectators who came expressed their satisfaction in the sharing of energy and the sense of community coming together. New spectators commented they enjoyed it as it was something different. This site-specific work mutually reinforces the process of creation. The site, whether it was the bar or the abandoned warehouse, the movements that is influenced by the artists and their movements performed in the space create the atmosphere. This is the way through a space is brought to life and the attraction and the challenge of site-specific performance itself. The conclusion is that the site-specific performance cannot be enjoyed without the vividness and the presence of the performer and also the spectator in the same space. Here are the references. With that, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you to each and every one of you for your support. Hope to see you all soon. Take care. Stay safe.